Hey guys, guess what day it is? That's right. It's Amary Thursdays, and today we got a couple questions from two people today, and yes, there are very unique questions that you guys might want to hear. So here we go. Okay, so this question this guy has wants to remain anonymous. So Mr. Unknown, we'll call him that, says, I have been struggling recently with relationships with my family and my friends. I will say most of my friends I have are online and they are good friends, don't get me wrong. But I would like to have more real life friends too, you know? Not only that I have trouble opening up to people or trusting others, it's hard to open up to people when I'm feeling suicidal or stressed about life. I hope this makes sense. I don't know how to explain this, but it's a bit hard for me to do so. And I love your videos. It's been helping me through my depression and suicidal thoughts. Keep up the good work on Marx. Now, I could actually relate to a lot of this when I was younger, man, because I remember when I was around 18 that I didn't have that many friends, right? Like, I had a couple good close ones in real life, but I didn't really have online friends that much, but I just definitely struggled opening up and meeting new people. And I also struggled to be very outgoing, right? And I actually did struggle with a bit of suicidal thoughts when I was younger, too, you know? And it's really sad kind of reading this because I can really relate to a different time in my life. Now, for me, I got very lucky in my life and I was able to pick out some decent, good friends that weren't like completely bad people or nothing, and they weren't like, toxic or mean or just fucking backstabbing pieces of crap. But in order to answer your question, to pick the people that you can trust and open up to others is that I would say is like try to fucking, like if you can, try to meet someone new and then get to know them and then just kind of keep meeting them, And not only that, try to keep talking to them and try to see if you can get them to open up in a way, or not even just opening up, like see if you got everything in common. If they have some really good positive traits and they're very mature and everything and they're a great friend and they will not hurt you, that's when I would think it'd be a good time to open up about serious things. Or if they have that one friend that's actually concerned about your mental health and being, because those people that do ask, are you okay? Those are usually the best people to open up to, I've noticed. Even sometimes if it's a stranger that really is concerned about your mental health, because not everyone wants to feel that way. Now, with your relationship with your family and everything, I'm not fully sure about the whole situation, but if you're having a hard time like relating to them, or they're having a hard time connecting with you on certain levels, or having a hard time trying to empathize with you and everything, I would definitely talk to like a friend's parents first about the perspectives and tell them what's been going on. Because for me, when I was younger, I definitely have made friends with my friends' parents as well sometimes, and I did trust them enough to open up to them. Because with my family and parents, unfortunately, they wouldn't let me open it up very often, very well. Because in reality, they didn't know how to handle my stuff when I was going through it, and a lot of it was kind of toxic too. Because my parents would also tell me that, why are you feeling this way? You should be more grateful that you have a roof over your head and that you shouldn't be, you should be grateful that you're not severely poor or struggling like this, man. And I find that a bit toxic. And if you really have parents that would not be emotionally be there for you, I understand completely. But I would definitely suggest like friends' parents do help a lot, because there's some friends' parents that aren't always the same toxic stigmas that your parents may have. And it's a really sad reality too when you realize you meet your friends' parents and you realize, damn, they're not very good people. But another thing too you can do is if you have money, right, and you want to improve your family's relationship in some way, like they do have family counseling in a way. You could go on, Google, research your local area for counseling centers for like family and stuff, because there's couples counseling obviously for dating, and there's also counseling for family members and interventions for people who want them to get better. Obviously, I don't think it's super like drug related or nothing, it sounds like, but I would definitely talk to like some type of a therapist or some type of family counseling if you can afford it. That's my best bet. And if you can't afford it, man, I would definitely try to seek out like I said, a friend that could help you out find an alternative. They often call it functional family therapy. I would definitely try to look it up, because there's also virtual appointments you could do if you really need it. But another thing too that you could do as an alternative if you just can't afford it is I would definitely just try to speak up to your parents in a very sincere way and just try to pour your heart out and try to see if they can see if they can relate to see where you're coming from. Because sometimes, man, if you speak a certain way in tone, it could really make a huge difference in the way you talk about things, because tone does matter when you talk about serious topics, because not sometimes, man, everyone just needs a little bit of help. And I honestly do hope that like they do like feel for what you're trying to say, and hopefully they'll try to help improve you and give out boundaries and everything for you despite what's might be going on for you guys. And if you really do want to find those really good friends and everything, is that you're going to have to put yourself out there a little bit, even if you have social anxiety. It may not be always easy, but the good ones do come around, the ones that don't judge you. I do know that. The ones that are always not like always there for your side, always positive in a good way, and is really real with you, and also just does not want to, does not want to judge you or put you down despite the type of anxiety and everything. It definitely does make a difference. I really do hope this advice does help you unknown, and I really do hope that things get better. And I'm very glad that my videos are helping you get through these type of thoughts and everything, man, because I will say, dude, you do matter, okay? I don't care what anyone says. You do matter, and this is coming directly from me, okay? So keep your head up, man, and obviously just try to talk to someone if it's not a family member, like I said. Now, my buddy Evan also reached out again for another Amary Thursday, and he asked, what's the software you use to make your thumbnails? Also, what software do you use to make the audio track for your recordings? Do you follow some sort of script when recording your audio? Well, Evan, believe it or not, to make my thumbnails, I use a very old version of Photoshop because I kind of pirated it back in high school, right? It's like a version from 2012, which is absolutely hilarious and ironic because these type of style videos are from that era, right? So it kind of matches the vibe perfectly. But yes, I use Adobe Photoshop, like an old version, because nowadays everyone's like has to pay for a fucking subscription anyways. And it's really ridiculous because nowadays you just can't seem to own the programs anymore. So I'm kind of glad now that I kind of pirated it low key, and I'm not really gonna lie to you guys about that, bro. Like, you gotta save money sometimes. What audio software I use for my recordings? Well, believe it or not, I do actually use Audacity to record my microphone. I use a really cheap $30 Samsung Go mic that's like a laptop little clipper. If you want, I could put it in the link in the description below for you guys that want to start out making YouTube videos and sound decent without having to buy a super expensive mic. And Audacity is great because it's free, it's open source, and like the software does matter what you use when it comes to recording stuff, because the software that's built in this for the price and everything, despite it being free, it sounds amazing. It sounds extremely crisp for what it is, and it does really enhance the audio a tad bit, because I've used this Samsung Go on my DSLR camera for my main channel, and the audio difference is like night and day. It's great. And the last but not least is, do I follow some sort of script when recording my audio? And I ain't gonna lie, most of the time is no. A lot of the things I like to talk about I'm very passionate about, or I randomize in my head because I am a very random person. I come up with a bunch of creative ideas and I write them down on my phone. Here and there, I do pinpoint, recording audio for scripts for certain things if it's more informational and stuff. But when it comes to topics and everything, to sound as authentic and genuine as possible, I definitely just record I just kind of wing it for the most part. And sometimes I do kind of screw up when I talk about certain things a little bit. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not perfect. I'm human, but. Yes, I do most likely, most of the time, don't use a script unless I really need to. And I do sometimes occasionally catch myself slipping up saying like a certain word too many times or something. And you guys might have noticed it too. But I am definitely more open to using a script more in the foreseeable future. Alrighty, everybody. Thank you all so much for listening for today's episode of Amary Thursdays. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We actually got a lot of questions this time, and I'm really glad we're starting to get more inboxes flowing in, right, for every Thursday, because that's what I really wanted to do, and I'm excited now for the more upcoming questions that people are going to ask. Also, I do realize you guys really like to hear my life updates a little bit, and I do like to talk about that too. My girlfriend and I actually went on our first fancy date a few weeks ago, right, at a thing called Emo Night in Kansas City, and it was really cool. And I took her to a very nice fancy restaurant at Johnny's Tavern. It's like a little bar that's like a nice sports bar, but it's like it's in the mid tier when it comes like fancy shit and stuff. And we both shared a pizza, and oh my god, bro, I'm not gonna lie, those pizzas that we split, they were huge, but it was awesome because it was like we were able to save a lot of money doing that. And the cool part is, I didn't have to spend too much money on it too, which is great. And it was awesome because we were spending really quality time together. And we both believe that we really like to spend the quality time and matter. And it's not always about, how fancy the restaurant is. And it's amazing, honestly. We've also been taking things very slow and naturally, and it's been really awesome that way because I would not like to rush into anything like that, because in order for a successful long relationship to actually last, you do have to take things a tad bit slow and just let things just kind of go with the flow. Also, this is a little off topic, but when it comes to not using a script, I've been doing YouTube videos for like 8 years straight of just nonstop talking about certain things. I do write scripts for certain videos, and I have done it in the past. But I've just done it so much that my brain's kind of used to coming up with random ideas of what to say. And I also like to just talk in general, and I'm a big yapper, so that kind of helps a lot too. I hope you guys really enjoyed this Amary Thursday episode, and I hope to see y'all in the next video. So y'all just take care, do some push-ups, drink some water, and I'll see y'all in the next one.